Okay, earlier today I went to the Nikon launch of the new D3x digital SLR camera, which I've got here. We managed to sneak one back for a very quick look at it. As you can see, if you're familiar with the D3, it is identical in every respect to the D3 externally, except for this very small detail, which is the X at the end of the D3. You can't really tell the difference aesthetically. The main differences are on the inside, namely the sensor. Rather than being the 12 megapixel CMOS sensor which is in the D3, this is a 24.5 megapixel sensor, so it's literally double the resolution of the D3 sensor. For that, unfortunately, you have to pay double the price as well, because this camera weighs in at a hefty $5.5 grand for the body only. Now, the more observant of you may have noticed there's already a camera in the market with a 24.5 megapixel sensor in the shape of the Sony Alpha 900, but that's about £2,000, it's a hell of a lot cheaper. Now, Nikon say that their sensor is not the same as the Sony sensor, and this would be borne out by the fact that the native ISO is different, but we'd be surprised if there isn't some commonality between the sensors. Possibly it's based on the Sony sensor. In any event, if you're using this camera, you're going to get 50 megabyte 14-bit NEF files from this camera, which when you process it through Capture NX2 is going to give you a 140 megabyte TIFF file, so you might need to buy a bigger hard disk drive for this camera. And here's the back view of the camera. The camera has 100% viewfinder coverage, and it still retains the same high definition 3-inch 920 VGA TFT LCD screen that the D3 has, and indeed the D700 and D300 also have. Like the D3, it's made from a magnesium alloy body with full dust and moisture seals around all the different points, so it's good weatherproofing. And there's the dual slot. Let me just open this up here. You can see that there's a dual slot for 2 compact flash cards inside, like the D3 as well. And here's the top shot. Now the main differences in this shooting, in fact, in the specification, apart from the resolution, are the fact that the ISO is a restricted range on this camera compared to the D3, which could shoot up to ISO 6400 native ISO resolution. This camera is up to 1600, ISO 100 to 1600, but is extendable down to ISO 50 and up to ISO 6400 equivalent. The shooting speed as well is only 5 frames per second on this camera, which is slower as well because, of course, you've got 24 megapixel resolution to push through the pipe. So what are our first impressions of the D3x? Well, the biggest impression it leaves on me is that price tag. It seems incredibly expensive. When you think you can get a 24 megapixel digital SLR in the shape of the Sony Alpha 900 for £2 grand, this has got to be pretty special to make it worth $5.5. But of course, it's not just about the resolution. This has all the features of the D3, which is significantly greater if you add them all up than what you get on the Alpha 900. You're getting a better camera for sure. The question is whether people are going to want to pay double to go from a D3 to a D3x, and what that's worth to a lot of people. No doubt for some professionals the money's immaterial, because this camera is going to pay for itself in a very short period of time anyway. For studio shooters, landscape photographers, people that want the extra resolution and a professional can earn a living and make the camera pay for itself, that's not so much of an issue. So they're probably going to be pretty pleased with it, as long as the picture quality is up to scratch. And of course we'll find that out when we do our full in-depth review shortly, so stay tuned for that.